Hi there, I'm Shauna from Infinity Readings, and this will be the reading for the Aries female single. Hey guys, I wanted to take a minute here just to kind of acknowledge what I've done for this winter season. I managed to change up a few things. I vamped the logo a little bit. I actually got Aaron at Active Dynamics here. He has managed to make my intro for me, so I'm very thankful for that. He did a great job. I couldn't have done it. So thanks, Aaron, for that. I appreciate it immensely. And also to Ikson for my theme music. It's beautiful, upbeat, happy tunes. I can't get enough. I am now going to his page because it's just that great. It's all good gravy stuff. So I couldn't have revamped my winter season without these dudes around me. So I'm lucky enough to have them in my corner. So thanks, guys. Ikson, great work. Aaron, thanks again. Great work. So take care, guys. Enjoy your season. And Ikson, if you ever want a reading, just hit me up, man. Just email me. I will kick in and we'll set something up. In the meantime, take care. Have fun, you guys, and enjoy the readings. I am going to do the reading for the Aries, and I'm going to go over the overall feminine energies. And then I'm going to dip into areas here where we go through 5 decks of tarot cards. So we can have a situation where we're doubling up on a lot of messages here, but nonetheless, working our way into the love and romance side of things. And what I'm trying to do here is to illuminate any blocks or challenges you might be coming across, and then hopefully you can work to sweep them out of your way and move forward. Okay? The first card I get for the general energies for the Aries female single is Redemption. So that is a big blanket right there. There's a sense here that something has happened to this Aries female that she is needing to redeem herself for, okay? And that is kind of flooding over the whole reading. So the next card we have to the left here is Irresistibility. May have something to do with how irresistible this Aries woman is coming off to be here. So you got to be careful where that sits. Mind you, we're single, so that's part of the plan, isn't it? To be irresistible. So, and on the right here we have Creation. Now, so Creation is a card that kind of has an essence of pregnancy or that amongst it. Though it is very light, it is there nonetheless. So keep that in mind when you're moving outwards if that is something you do or do not want. Okay. So I feel like I'll go over those again in the end, and we'll wrap that up with all the information. I feel like this ain't going to be an easy read here, but nonetheless, we'll get into it. We start here with the Emperor. And what is the Emperor? He is an Aries. Now, this woman may be in her masculine state here with some kind of a situation that came down the line. Feel like the Redemption is just hinting at there was kind of some kind of a blowout here. And I don't know what side we're on, but nonetheless, the Emperor is there, and he is very powerful in where he sits and usually makes wise decisions. He is not there because he has been stupid. So he is there because he's got a lot of knowledge to put forth, and he is very used to utilizing that forward, taking action from it and instructing others because of it. The next card I get after the Emperor is the Three of Cups. So that is the essence of being out, celebrating, maybe going to celebrations or being with people where we are in a celebratory state or very excited to see people and join with people and unite with people, and just a sense of overall happiness in and amongst your friendship circles, right? So as we move forward, that's good. So that kind of tells me that, we may be in emperor mode and we may, as a female, be more in our masculine state, but we're still having fun. We're going out and we're able to get light and fluffy with things. Okay. I'm saying light and fluffy, but we're able to we don't have a stick up our rear where we're not a stick in the mud is basically what I'm saying. So that is good. We can loosen up a bit here, right? And as we move past Three of Cups, we get the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles is about a slow, steady, methodical energy that moves forward in a lot of planning and forethought. And I feel like that's the mode that this Aries female, sorry, I gotta check and see who I'm this Aries female is dealing with. Slow, methodical. This is the way she's going forward. She's very much in her own element, own energy. It's all going good. So the Knight of Pentacles is not her element. It is slowing her down and giving her the power to look over things in a grand way so that we're not going to make any missteps going forward. Okay? There's redemption here that is kind of making us in this way. Okay? It's very ominous is the feeling I get. Okay? But the Page of Wands, ominous in the way that we don't want to make another mistake again. So the Page of Wands ends that row with the fiery energy that is back at her element, okay? So we are very much feeling our power and knowing where we need to be toned down, meaning our furiousness forward needs to be toned down because of something that happened here is the sense I'm getting. So as we move forward to the next row here, we get into the Dreamer's Tarot, and the first card we get under the Emperor is the Seven of Wands. So that's interesting because I feel like there was a need to take charge here because the Seven of Wands is taking a stand against someone else. Okay, so we're single, so this could be in any direction. Okay, but nonetheless, this card in this deck symbolizes, I've just had enough, and this is getting stale and old and bad and negative, and I've had enough. So having to stand your ground is really the sense I get from that. Now, under the Three of Cups and the celebrating and all that stuff, we have the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords is about a stalemate. Unable to make a decision. I'll leave it at that. Under the Knight of Pentacles, that's the slow movement forward. This guy's almost stopped. Okay, so this may not be a bad thing for the Aries female to take on as well, but nonetheless, underneath that, we have the Five of Wands, and that's argument and struggle. So that's what you want to be really slow to do here. So that's really saying to me that this woman is being highly attentive to her own, how do you say, to her own movements forward. What is driving me, right? So this is, I feel like this is really good. I feel like maybe she has either been provoked by someone and is now going, wait a minute, I'm not going to fall for that again. And stepping away from arguing and fighting and, all of these kinds of chaotic behavior. I feel like it's direct confrontation is what they said. There's a direct confrontation here, and this woman is hip to that, and she is really figuring out how to do things differently. I feel like this is someone that they've dealt with a lot here, and the struggle has come down the line, and we're backing away from the arguments, okay? So under the Page of Wands, which is her fiery energy again, and that passion moving forward, we're going to take action here on something that happened. Underneath that is the Wheel of Fortune. So that push to go forward in action is really a fated move here that we need to make. So whatever it is, I feel it's going to happen. And whatever it is, I feel the Aries female is going to make sure that it does. Okay. And it seems like it's going to be something that will change positions in some kind of way in her life. Okay. It'll change a position of someone in her life or her position towards someone in her life. Okay. So under the Seven of Wands, as we move into the Lenormand, I'm going to switch into the romance and sex side of things. I feel like this may be in a different area than romance, but we'll go forward here. So under the 7, the struggle and putting up a defense against, we have 12, the songbirds. Man, these guys are in every reading here. Gossip and yappiness and miscommunications, okay? Things that could be said that are not quite true. Not only that, they could be misinterpreted or taken the truth and then spit out a lie. Okay, so there's gossip or rumors or something going on around the Aries female that she has had to stand up against. Okay, so that seems to be the whole area of redemption here, seems to be around some kind of rumor or communication process to come down on her where she's had to defend herself against. Okay, now under the 3 of Cups and the 2 of Swords, we get the 8, the coffin, which is about life-changing events, things that are not going to be the same as we know it. They are going to change. Transitions could mean an actual death. I hope it does not. There are things here that are coming to an end. Okay, I feel like this is in the role of the friendship and the stalemate, and then it's almost like there was a path here that this woman's walking down, and this is not the first time we've come across this, but there's an ending here that has to happen in some certain area. Okay, moving on. Under the Knight and the 5 of Wands. So what's all this arguing and struggling about, right? We're trying to get away from all the arguments and struggles. We have the 29, which is the passionate woman. I was going to say the aggressive woman, but it's the aggressive man and the passionate woman. She's got her eyes set on a direction here where she's going to make headway. Now, she's looking in the direction of the Wheel of Fortune, and under the Wheel of Fortune is 18, which is the dog, and it symbolizes loyalty. She is looking for loyalty in regards to her and her life. And I feel like this is exactly what this has come down to. There's been a disloyalty put upon her in her circle. And again, I don't know this is just romantic area, but nonetheless, there's a disloyalty here. And this woman is focused on finding out who is loyal, who I can trust, and I'm going to go in that direction. And really the ending, she is moving in a different direction. So there may have been some chatter, some gossip, or some things that have happened here that ended a situation, okay? Now, as we move into the romance side of things, again, I'm not sure that this woman is in that way, but on the songbirds, which is form of gossip or miscommunication in some way, we have the Wheel, okay? And the Wheel is about fateful things that come down the line. Fate, karma, things like that that are written in our path that we cannot really escape. And I feel like this mishap that has happened, I don't feel it's a mishap as much as a scenario that has come to be. It has to be, right? It is written, it's fate. Now, under the Death card, the Transformation card, we have the 4 of Wands. That's interesting. This is the female singles. We've been doing this all season. I'm getting, oh, we have a marriage and a single side, and we have a single on a marriage side. What is going on? And they're doing it again. This is for the female single Aries. We have the end of a marriage. Okay, so what could happen here? They're going, we could back it up a little bit. So I have the ending and the transformation, and what's going on is they're saying we may have had an engagement, but not yet down the aisle, or someone who is wanting to propose or wanting to get married, but there's an ending here and it is not going to happen. Okay, so there may have been a lead up in this way. So now we're jumping back on the relationship train. There's someone here that the woman is totally turned away from energetically, and I don't mean like brutally, I just mean energetically. They're not in essence with this direction of where this other person wants to walk down the aisle, okay? And I feel like there's been a lot of steps leading up to this. This person has maybe been pushing or hinting, or, I think it's more than a hint, wanting to do and go down that way. Now, I don't see a ring here per se, but I feel like it has been talked about or it's in the air, okay? But nonetheless, I feel like the Aries female has said to this partner, past partner, no, that's not what I want. And this partner has not listened to what she said and is just bulldozing over that and making plans forward. And I feel like that's the standing up and saying, okay, that's enough. I told you once that I don't want this. Now now I have to be a bitch and tell you no, and storm out of here because I've told you once, twice. We talked about it here, talked about it there. You're not getting it. So a little thick-headed, the person that she's dealing with, okay? And I feel like it's either past love or someone that's been infatuated with her that is not giving up on it, okay? Even though it's kind of directly been told no. Now, on the waiting woman, we have 0, which is the Fool, and that's in the romance direction. She is going off in a new direction. She is footloose and fancy-free and not feeling connected to anyone. And that may be heartbreaking, right? Because there's an irresistibility here in the overview, and that hangs highly over the partner. Though I feel the energy is very weak to penetrate this argument that has happened here. I feel it's come to a head in a blowout, and things have just ended badly now because the person was not listening to the Aries woman. They were just going on top of that. The Aries woman was trying to be classy and lay it out in a conversational mode, and they had to get to the point where they were angry and yelling it and being, well, being asshole-ish with it. We had to push it out there so forcefully because we've said it before. Now, on top of the loyalty card, we get 13, which is the death, the ending. Man, so we could either split the energy. This could be the same person going through this stuff, or what's going on here is really 18. The dog is a symbol of loyalty. When we have an ending on top of that, that means that's the end of my loyalty to you anymore. I do not have any. You've crossed a line here, and I cannot no longer be loyal to you. Or there was this done upon her. There may have been an instance where we had something happen to us in a disloyal way where it ended things for us. Meaning the Aries woman realized that there was a disloyalty here and therefore did not go in that direction. I don't feel that's so much the case. I feel like it's a situation where there's someone hanging on to the Aries female. This Aries female is feeling very single and mingling in such a way, and I feel like that person is just creating havoc for them by either gossiping or creating scenarios that are not appropriate. This woman is not agreed to, almost like infringing a relationship upon her, but she's not agreed to it. In fact, she's declined gracefully, and it's not been listened to, right? So the person's carrying on like they're in a relationship, but she has said no. So it's almost like a complete denial to hear the word no from this woman, which is not good, right? So we end in the romance area at the death position. So there's somebody has been sacrificed here in loyalty. So this could go a few ways. We could have an Aries woman, like I said, deciding that she will no longer be loyal to someone in her life because of something that happened and she stood her ground, and that's that. Or this could be a situation where there was someone that was attaching to her and she is no longer loyal in that way to that person, because there's a sense here we can't talk to this person. They're not hearing me and what I'm saying. They're not respecting my word. They're just trampling and doing what they want to do, and I can't have that. So that ended, okay? So that's in the romance here. So as we go into the sex side of things on the wheel, which is the fateful things, we have the Emperor again. So that's really saying to me is we start this journey with our energy fully intact and our power at full potential. We're feeling irresistible to the opposite sex, and we are not going to lose that no matter what kind of trials and tribulations we come across. We are going to keep our cool and keep our senses. In fact, we may even go into the earth energy and dig in there for some knowledge and slow things down a bit because we know that's our weakness, but we will come out fighting in our fire no matter what. No one is going to bring us down, and this is not possible. And there's a strong, steady energy coming from the female single that she just will not be brought down. And the people around her are not quite aware of that. There may be some kind of a cloak here in the irresistibility area that makes her seem like she should be softer than she is, but that will not abide by her. That will not be something that she carries. Okay, so the Emperor is there. Fate, no fate. Arguments, no arguments. No matter what the situation, I have to defend myself or no. I will stay in my energy and my power, and I will not falter. Now, as we move into the Four of Wands, which is about the marriage and the talk of marriage and pushing into marriage, this type of thing, we have the Queen of Wands. Now, the Queen of Wands is the essence of turning on the red light, and we're talking about sex here. So there is a sense here that this woman was looked upon in that way. I am very attracted, and she is very attracted, and this is what has been seen. Now, this is why this person wants to come forth. They're feeling like the Aries woman has turned it on for them, so they are going in that direction. Okay? Now, as we move on to the Fool in the new direction, we have 15, 16, 17, which is the stars. And the stars is about laying it on thick. Now, this woman, that is her element, the Queen of Wands. That is her irresistibility. It's really overflowing here like a volcano. And this is going outwards in your circles, okay, into potential partner circles. And the new direction that you want to go in, this is how men are looking up to you, like, wow, almost like you're a movie star. And this is the part of the female that may tend to get driven into the ego a bit. But nonetheless, this is really, I think, because they're going a fine line here between accommodating someone and playing into their game, I guess. I don't want to use the word game, but that's the feeling I get with the Queen of Wands, because in this picture, on the sex side, on the intimacy side, which we have underneath the death, the ending that happened, there's a sense here that we were playing in a little too much. And maybe the Aries wasn't aware of that. I don't know. But the ending came nonetheless, and that was the perception nonetheless of the partner on that side, was that they were playing into me and I was going in that direction. So there was somewhat of a miscommunication or a misunderstanding for sure in the perception of the female. They're thinking the female wanted me to come and wanted me to, he was getting all the signals in the wrong way. Because she was accommodating to him, he felt that was the green light to go, so therefore he kept going. And that was the thing. Now that has ended and her new direction, the stars, she is playing upon that popularity. There may be a situation here where we've become very popular in our circles and also with the objects of affection. So we are playing that to the highest degree and going outward. Now, on the Death card, we get the Queen of Swords. So are we playing and dabbling and playing with men's emotions to the degree that we get hurt? Is that what's going on here? Because there's a star here, a new direction, an ending, and then the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords has been through a lot of hell. So I feel like in this scenario, whatever happened in the past there, I feel like she was somewhat justified, but they're giving me a sense here that there was a line here that could have been a little more firm. We could have stated a little more appropriately. It was almost like we were playing into the trap of accommodating too much to the degree that we gave this man the idea that we were on their side, not away from them. So that was the thing. They're going, we did contribute to that consensus, so we need to own that. So that may be missed on the Aries female's side, okay? So we end up with the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Swords, she's not happy. She is in a situation where she knows her power, she knows her worth forward, but you abide by me. And there may be too many rules here that we have to listen to, is what they're saying. So we got to watch, if we want to attract a partner, that we drop some of our rules and zones here, because we're going to come off looking a little edgy. I'm not going to say what passed through there, but looking pretty edgy, and that's not going to come off right. So that may be some of what she's filtering through here, but there's a lot of stuff going on. It is actually in the romantic area, which is what I couldn't figure out to begin with. But as we moved on here, it seems like, yeah, there's an ending here and a new beginning. And we got to watch that we're not using our feminine wiles too crazily, where we're not focused on where we want to go. We're just playing. We want to, you know, have intent of where we're going here, because there may be some men falling into this trap and not realizing that they can't get the prize at the end, meaning, you know, I want to marry and all that, because there's a lot of marriage material options out here that they're looking at you in that way. And if you are not, you kind of have to be more upfront, is what I'm getting. Be aware of that, because even if you are upfront, they're saying to, you know, if someone falls in, we got to be aware of the power that we are carrying. That Aries energy is flaming hot, and we're going to burn some fingers here. And we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we're just a warm glow, that they can come in and we can be honest and truthful, and nobody's going to get burned. So that is the energy's horizontal. So I'm going to go vertically, and we'll rip this thing right apart. So we started out with the Emperor energy, and that's that fiery wands Aries energy. She has the power, she feels the power, she can manifest, she can do things, and she's got a lot of experience behind her, and she works from that, and again, delegates from that as well. So that's just stating, we're dealing with an Aries here, and that's what we got. That's her, that's the energy zone she's going to be in. Sorry, my pronunciation. That's the energy zone she's going to be in over the winter. And on top of that energy, we have the Seven of Wands, which is, you know, I have to fiercely, you know, state my boundaries, and I'm prepared to do that. It's getting a little tiring here, but that's what I'm getting. And then on top of that is the 12 of the Songbirds, is which we may be doing or saying, and they're getting to, they're going, we got to be aware that there's a contribution here to things going awry, okay? That's simply it. There's a contribution to things going awry. It's almost like our input, we're trying to accommodate too much to the person that we're isolating from at this point, or near the future, whatever. Because there's a sense here that the person that we were ending things with, or will be ending things with, there was too much accommodation there, to the degree that the person took it in the wrong way. There's a fine line, but we overstepped that line. They're going, the Aries female has overstepped the line of being too nice for too long, and playing too far into that role. And they'll go, you know, we think she'll know what we mean. So that was the thing, is we played too much into that. And then when we wanted to finally jump out and go in a new direction, we feel like we may have been vacillating, making our decision and using this as a backup. And in that case, we should have jumped out sooner and more definitively. So on the 12, we have the 10, which is the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is about all those things that are written in our life path. So one of these things was this incident that happened or will happen over the winter season. It is destined that this go this way, the way that it is. You know, the combustible, having to deal with this situation. So on top of that, we have the Emperor ending off that row stating, I am the Emperor, I have my energy, and that's where I sit, beginning and end of this reading, beginning and end of the winter. This is the energy that I'm sitting in, and I will not budge, and nobody will take me off of it. We have to be careful how that's being sent out. I feel it's strong and sturdy, but when we're going towards the side where we're dealing in relationships here, there might be abuse of that power. So be aware of that. Three of Cups on top of that, that's celebrating, going out, being happy, being butterfly, social butterfly out in public. The Two of Swords, that's what made me feel like this might also come in a friend circle where we have to lock things out, because there's a weird line here where we're happy and joyful, and that may also be the whole thing here. We were happy and joyful with this person and gave them the wrong idea. Not that we're supposed to be mad and bitchy, but we crossed the line of being neutral. We were wanting to send off an energy here of not being in this relationship. We didn't do a good enough job. We were tending too much to that partner, and that was partly our fault. We're going, it's not the whole fault, but it's partly. So Two of Swords, we have to, that's that stalemate there of deciding. We're having fun, but deciding all of a sudden, no, I'll have to cut it loose. And then 8 is the decision, the coffin, the ending, the transition that we have to go through here to make that happen. And then the 4 of Wands, I feel, is the partner's energy, like they wanted to marry or maybe had asked them to marry. And then this became the point where we went from indecision to ending, because no, I am not going to marry, and this is not the direction, and da da da. So that may be what happened here. And then on top of the 4 of Wands, we have the Queen of Wands, which is the symbol of that sexual energy being put upon this person. And if that was the direction that happened, that is part of the reason that it came about the way that it did. Okay, and as we go into the Knight of Pentacles, that's that slow, strong, sturdy energy. So after all of this is passed and we've decided, no, that's it. We've dabbled into things a little, crossed that line a little too much and backed off. The Knight of Pentacles is there to slow us down. Take us out of our element. We're going too fast, too fiery, too passionate in a way. And we need to rein ourselves in. So that's the Knight of Pentacles. On top of that, 5 of Wands. The reason we're reining ourselves in is we don't want no more arguments. We don't want no more struggles, no more quarreling. We're trying to avoid this. Actually, not avoid it as much as just rein it in and deal with those situations, right? Because avoiding is a different energy than wanting to stifle. You know, get to the bottom of things or be clear about. And it took her a little while to get into the methodical mode to do that. So the 5 of Wands on top of that, 29, that's the passionate woman looking forward in a new direction. That is all that energy that is going to come forth to go forward. 0, the Fool, that's the new direction. She takes action and going and moving. There is something here she can jump to, so she does. And then the 17, the Stars is, it could be mutual. It could be someone that makes you feel like the center of the universe, or you go out to someone who you know that makes you feel, or they feel that you are the center of the universe. Yeah, the Stars is about that energy that you may be the center of the universe for somebody, or you want somebody to make you feel like the center of the universe. Okay, so that's that new direction that you're going into to find all of that energy. Now under the Page of Wands, and that's the fiery energy and communication and information coming at you and getting back into your element. The Wheel of Fortune, the messages that come through here are fated. meant to be. We have two of them here, kind of bookending this whole reading. We have the two emperors. We got the two wheels of fortune. This is your path. This is you're on par, even though it may seem like things are going awry. This is exactly where you need to be and exactly what you need to go through. And then on top of the wheel, we have 18, which is the loyalty. 18 is about the loyalty that this woman wants to carry forward. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. And then on top of that is the death card, 13. So again, a symbol of an end of a loyalty to someone that was in our life that we were loyal to. This is no longer. And on top of that, we have the Queen of Swords, which is, can be quite bitter and cantankerous because she's been through a lot of struggles here, and the ending was not good. That's basically what they're saying. We have an ending here, and we have the Queen of Swords, which is not good because that's the worst one you want to deal with in this type of situation. So it wasn't a smooth ending. It wasn't a great, beautiful, how do you say, mutual decision. There was some fiery words and some cutting things that were said. And that was that, basically. So an ending here nonetheless. Okay, so that is the energy for the Aries female. It's heavy, but I think she's taking it in stride. I don't feel it's too heavy, really. I feel like she kind of seen this coming in a way that she probably could have done it sooner, and like they basically telling me, no, there was lines crossed here that should not have been crossed. The point we knew we were at, this Aries female should not have given the impression to this man because he just stepped right in it, and she knew that he was, in dreamland about this to a certain degree, but we didn't help things by tending to that in that way. So that's what ended up kind of like mixed messages, I think, was what they sent across here. It's like we're kind of giving them mixed messages to a degree that it didn't make it easier for our path forward to cleanly cut. And that's why. So they're going, we have to take responsibility for our role here because we did have a part in it and it wasn't all one-sided. So that's all they want to say there. So to cap up the energies here for the Aries female, the redemption, maybe there is a sense of her realizing that she kind of, owning her own right to the ending of this, even though, because it's like, I get a sense here, it's like, man, I didn't want to end it this way. I didn't want to have to do it this way, but here it is. And there's a sense here that we could have done it differently. And I feel like the Aries female is kind of warming up to the side where she understands that she had a part in it. So not only being told by the universe, but there's a certain part of her that understands that. It just may take through the winter season to see that properly, to the point where she accepts that and go, yeah, I did have a part in it. And I shouldn't have done this or I shouldn't have done that. And that made it worse. And saying it clearly, okay? So to the left, the irresistibility, I feel like that was played with a bit. We may have some arguments come back at me. That wasn't played. But if we go and look at our ego here, we got to watch because we know our power over our partners. And that was what was played with to a high degree. When we know and are aware that we have a certain effect on this person, and we use that to gain more things, this is not good. That's an ego reward, and that's really what happened here. So we gave ego rewards, and then after we're like, but I told you, but they were, well, I got played in, and so it's one of those things, just wasn't going to end well. But nonetheless, there was irresistibility was part of that, part of the factor here that made things go awry. And then creation. So okay, they're the creation is really the creation of a clear path forward. which should have been breached a long time ago. We should have, but in certain ways it's understood that we know there was going to be a blurry line here no matter, but we could have laid our foot down a lot more stern in the past and kept that line. But we were kind of going back and forth with benefits here, and that was the problem. So the creation here is the creation of a new way forward where we are in our power, and strongly so, and going forward. And this is where we needed to be all along here. So it's all part of that path. So it's somewhat empowering, but we have a little mishap here. So there's a sense of redemption, and I feel over the winter she may be mulling that over and really coming to a powerful absorption of that, meaning learning the lesson there and taking it forward into the new relationship and not doing that again. Or really, you can never really repeat something exactly the same in a different relationship, but we're learning and taking it forward into our new relationship, and that's all they want you to do, is to learn from the mistakes so we don't repeat them. So that is the reading for the Aries female single. So over the Christmas season, Merry Christmas, take care, have fun, and be kind, and also Happy New Year and be safe.